Welcome to the world of Cospolich, the world of hatchable marine refrigeration. Your vessel is now part of an international fleet which has chosen the best in design, construction, and operation of onboard cooling, chilling, and freezing. Now, let's prepare to get your unit aboard. First, the tools. All you need is a screwdriver and 2 wrenches. It's that simple, and they are furnished with your unit. Now, follow these step-by-step instructions. And as you do, remember that our polarized wiring was pre-installed, so it can't be plugged into the wrong place. Step 1. Remove the crating material and check for any freight damage. Step 2. Get ready to run the unit before disassembly. But first, open the doors and cut the tie wraps holding the door heater wires. Install those heater wires around the perimeter of the doors. Step 3. Plug the unit into a proper voltage receptacle. The unit should begin to operate, but if not, remove the grill by picking up on the grill and pulling out the bottom, then pulling down on the grill, allowing it to clear the top clip, and pushing the toggle switch to on. With the doors now open, the interior light should come on, the evaporator fan motor should have started, and the condenser and condenser fan motor should be operable. Everything's okay? Good. Now let's take it apart, preferably in a clear, workable area. Begin by opening the doors. Remove the door heaters. Coil and secure them with tie wraps or something similar. This will keep the heater wires from getting damaged during this process. Also at this time, push the light switch button in and place a piece of strong tape over the switch to keep it in the recessed position. This will keep the switch from getting damaged during the disassembly and reassembly process. Using the flat blade screwdriver, remove the hinge covers. In the case of a unit with multiple doors, the doors should be marked at this time to assure that the doors are replaced in the correct openings. Starting with the right door, using the Phillips screwdriver, remove the hinge screws attaching the door to the cabinet. Do not loosen or remove the screws attaching the hinge to the door. Remove only the top and bottom screw from each hinge. And then, with someone holding the door, remove the center screws from each hinge, starting at the bottom, and then the top. Now remove the door and store it in a safe place. Now repeat the same process with the other door. Let's go now to the rear of the unit. Using the 1/4-inch nut driver, remove the refrigeration line and the drain line covers. Go next to the front. Cut 2 pieces of packaging material, placing them in the bottom of the unit. This is going to protect the interior surface from any possible damage caused by dropping tools. Now, locate the refrigeration lines in the back of the evaporator. Using the 2 3/4-inch open-end wrenches, disconnect the lines. Hold the male fitting steady and turn the female fitting counterclockwise. There should be enough play in the line to push it to the rear, allowing the fitting to be separated without losing refrigerant. At this time, you should also locate the drain line in the rear of the evaporator and slide it off of the drain outlet on the evaporator. If the grill over the refrigeration compartment has not been removed, remove it now. With the 3/8-inch nut driver, or flat blade screwdriver, remove the screw that secures the condensing unit to the mounting clip in the front of the unit. Now, slide the condensing unit out of the unit and place it on the deck in front of the unit. Using the same procedure to locate and disconnect the refrigeration lines in the back of the evaporator with the 2 3/4-inch open-end wrenches, You can now remove the refrigeration lines from the unit. Remember, hold the male fitting steady and turn the female fitting counterclockwise. Next, locate the power cord running from the condensing unit to the black power panel in the refrigeration compartment and disconnect it. Then move the condensing unit to a safe place. Locate the power cord running from the evaporator coil inside the cabinet and unplug it from the black power panel. Now, go to the back of the unit. Remove the refrigeration line set and store it carefully in a safe place. Be careful that you don't bend these lines or stack anything on top of them. Now locate the electrical connection in the left door opening in front of the unit. It will be on the top of the door opening. And there you will see a black wire and a white wire with male and female connections. Disconnect the lines. You should now remove the refrigeration compartment from the cabinet. With someone positioned in the rear of the cabinet, tilt the cabinet until you can have access to the 3 half-inch bolts in the base of the unit. Using the 2 3/4-inch open-end wrenches, remove all 3 bolts. Placing the cabinet back on its base, reach in the refrigeration compartment. Remove the 5 1/4-inch bolts holding the top of the refrigeration compartment to the cabinet. With this completed, you are now ready to complete the disassembly. You should now begin taking apart the cabinet by first removing the top. Using the cam lock wrench, a 3/8-inch Allen wrench, start on the right side, going toward the rear, then along the rear from right to left. Then toward the front on the left end, insert the wrench into the cam lock openings and turn counterclockwise as much as possible. Release the cam locks on the center mullion. Now, with one person standing on each side of the unit, lift the top straight up and remove the top. Store it in a safe place. But before removing the top, make sure that the door heaters have been coiled and secured. Next, release the bottom cam lock on the center mullion and remove it. Now, remove the right end. Starting on the rear top, loosen the cam locks going toward the bottom and then along the bottom from back to front. Remove the right end and place it in a safe spot. Next, remove the left end, using the same procedure as the right end. And you should now be ready to remove the rear panel. Begin by loosening the cam locks. First, the lower right side, going from right to left. One person should position himself on the left-hand side and one on the right side, as both persons lift the panel free. All that remains now is the base frame assembly. Okay, you've moved all parts below deck, and you're now ready to reassemble your Cospolich unit in its permanent spot in the galley. It is most important that you first be assured of the presence of a level surface to begin the process of reassembling. With that knowledge, place the base frame assembly down. Now run a bead of silicone on both the interior and exterior stainless flanges of the base frame. A bead of silicone should always be placed on one side of all mating stainless steel surfaces during the assembly. This will eliminate any chance of air leakage and still allow for future disassembly if necessary. You are now ready to begin the reassembly. Install the rear panel first. Making sure that the cam lock is positioned on the correct side of the pin, place the bottom of the rear panel on the base frame assembly. It may be necessary for one person to be positioned on the right-hand end of the rear panel because it may be necessary to apply pressure toward the left while securing the cam locks. Using the cam lock wrench, turn the cam locks clockwise until fully tightened. Then tighten all cam locks, starting from the bottom right, going toward the left. Next up, the left end. Again, making sure that all cam locks are positioned on the correct side of the pin. Place the bottom of the left end on the base frame assembly. Using the cam lock wrench, begin at the bottom front and going toward the rear and then up the rear panel. Tighten each cam lock using the cam lock wrench. Now install the right-hand end. Place the end panel on the base frame, again making sure that the cam locks are positioned on the correct side of the pins. Starting on the bottom of the panel in the front, begin tightening the cam locks going toward the rear, then vertically along the rear panel. The next move is to place the center mullion on the guide pins and tighten the bottom cam lock, and you are now ready to install the top. One person should be on each end of the cabinet. Making sure that the cam locks are positioned on the correct side of the pins, set the top on the top of the cabinet. After assuring yourselves that all cam locks are positioned correctly, tighten all cam locks, beginning with the forward right-hand side and working all the way around to the front left-hand side. Next, tighten the two cam locks on the center mullion. Now, locate the black and white wires in the small door opening and reconnect them. Place the refrigeration compartment next to the cabinet. Reaching inside, reinstall the 5 1/4-inch bolts attaching the condensing unit compartment to the cabinet. Positioning someone in the rear of the cabinet, tilt the cabinet to the rear until you have access to the bolt holes for the 3 1/2-inch bolts in the base frame. Reinstall the 3 bolts and place the unit back on its base. You should now release the tie on the door heaters and insert in the groove around the perimeter of the doors. The gray vinyl breaker strip covers around the door perimeter should now be installed. They're labeled to correspond with the breaker strips which are installed on the cabinet. Locate the refrigeration line set and carefully insert the top through the hole in the rear of the cabinet. Using the 2 3/4-inch open-end wrenches, connect the lines to the evaporator coil. Hold the male fitting steady, then turn the female fitting clockwise. Now reinstall the drain line tubing on the rear connection of the evaporator coil. Be certain that you make sure the evaporator fan lead inside of the evaporator is connected. Time now to place the condensing unit on the deck in front of the cabinet. Connect the suction and discharge lines to the condensing unit using the 2 3/4-inch open-end wrenches. While holding the male fitting steady, turn the female fitting clockwise unit tight. Now, plug the power cord for the condensing unit, the power cord for the evaporator coil, and the power cord for the lights and heater into the black power panel, which is located inside the refrigeration compartment. The cord for the condensate evaporator pan should not have been disconnected, but make sure that it too is also plugged in. Now that's a total of 4 cords. From the rear of the unit, install the tubing covers over the refrigeration lines and the drain line. Next, set the copper P-trap with the attached drain line into the condensate evaporator pan. You should now be able to slide the condensing unit into place. Secure it with the 3/8 inch nut driver or flat blade screwdriver. It's time now to install the left door. With one person holding the door in place, insert the center screw in the top hinge and tighten. Then insert the center screw in the bottom hinge and tighten. Then insert the remaining screws and tighten strongly. The other door goes on next, repeating the installation process from the first door. You should now install the hinge covers. Next, remove the tape over the light switches of the refrigerator. Now, recheck all electrical and refrigeration connections. Plug the unit into a proper voltage receptacle. Now, with the door open, the lights should come on and the evaporator fan should start. The condenser fan and the condenser should also start up. Once everything has checked out, install the grill by inserting the top and picking up, then placing the bottom in the clips provided, and allow them to set completely into the clips. Now bring the unit temperature down to 38 degrees Fahrenheit on a refrigerator and a -5 degrees Fahrenheit on a freezer. Your Cospolich unit is now ready to deliver years of uncompromised quality service.